I'm here joined with Athletic Director of Hofstra University, Rick Cole. Rick, thanks for taking the time to speak with me. Let's talk about some spring sports. Women's lacrosse has gone out to one of their best starts in program history. And just recently, Shannon Smith became the all-time leader for wins in program history. What have you seen from her and the impact she's had on the program?
Well, I think, I'm not sure. I think the longer we're around the business, I think that people maybe don't recognize the excellence that surrounded Coach Shannon since her playing days. She was one of Long Island's best high school players. She became the nation's best player in women's lacrosse and became a head coach of a Division I program very early in her tenure of being a full-time professional. And Shannon runs one of the best clubs in the nation, let alone Long Island. So that Shannon and her legacy is very well connected to excellence. And I think that she's magnetic when it comes to the ability that real competitors are compelled to play for her, because she's a high expectation person of herself and everybody around her. And I think that that's the type of student athlete she seems to attract here. So I'm not surprised that Shannon's successful at anything. And when you see the fierce competitor that she is and how compelled she is to not only having high expectations of her student athletes, but being an asset to them as they continue on their professional career, life after lacrosse, and the collegiate experience. So, and I think what you'll also see in Shannon's program, which sometimes doesn't get as much attention, is how academically focused and successful they are as well.
You mentioned, the academic success and her ability to attract, players. And Long Island is a big hub when it comes to lacrosse talent. When you look at other sports and the changing landscape of college athletics as a whole, you see how much more of an impact the transfer portal has had. How do you feel like Hofstra University has, changed in their approach to attracting new student athletes to the university?
Well, I think the transfer portal has impacted all of us and all intercollegiate athletic programs, and I think it will continue to. And I think what people will often hear me say is that the transfer portal has provided the same opportunity it does non-student athletes. So if you wanted to transfer to a different institution, without penalty, you'd be able to do so and participate as a full acting student. It gives that right and privilege of our student athletes as well. So I think we've had success. And I also think that there's going to be folks that will look at our program and try to attract our student athletes that have been incredibly successful.
That's great. Thank you so much. For Sports Beat, I'm Anthony Hidalgo. It's been a long road back to the mound for Hofstra's Sean Hamilton. After an up-and-down freshman year in 2023, Hamilton was set on a bounce-back sophomore year.
After my freshman season, that summer I worked really hard. I came back in the fall. I was throwing hard. I had command of my curveball. Everything was going great. I was, working my way to be a weekend guy, weekend starter.
But just a week before the start of the 2024 season, he was hit with the 3 worst words a pitcher can hear: Tommy John surgery.
Around Christmas, New Year's, I started feeling forearm pain. Wouldn't go away. Went to 2 different doctors and then the Met surgeon and got an MRI and found I needed surgery. So that was kind of crushing.
Any pitcher faced with Tommy John can easily feel defeated, knowing their season is over before it even started. But Hofstra's head coach, Frank Catalanato, noticed the complete opposite from Hamilton.
The kid, he had blinders on. He was so focused in getting better, and he kept telling me, I'm going to be ahead of schedule.
I wanted to stay positive as I could the whole time, just because, there's a lot of ups and downs, but you can't let the downs drag you down, because then you're just not going to recover well. So I tried to stay positive through the whole process, and it was going to be a long road. I feel like being positive the whole time has helped me out my recovery and it be on schedule and a little before schedule. Sitting out last year, you get a perspective on the game. You get to watch other guys play, other guys succeed, and learn from their success.
Hamilton's perseverance and determination to get back on the mound hasn't just helped himself. It's given his teammates a leader in the clubhouse that they can lean on.
You see the growth and the maturity, and now you see him, since we have some other guys that are going through the same thing with Tommy John surgery, you see him talking to those guys and telling them, what to expect and kind of having his arm around them. And
Carlos last year, I've played with him since we were 14 or 15, and I've watched him play, but last year really performed amazingly in all conference and everything. So getting to watch him pitch, learn from how he threw his sequences helped me a lot last year.
Hamilton and Martinez's relationship goes back further than their time at Hofstra, only adding to the impact they've had on each other in their time of greatest need.
because we're so close. Like, we can bounce anything off each other. Like, I asked him questions about last year. He asked me about my recovery, and it sucks that we both went through it, but we can both learn from each other and improve for next year.
Even with missing an entire season, Hamilton's experience, although off the field, has him prepared to take on a bigger role among the pitching staff.
I feel like I've become more of a leader, a lot more confident in myself and my stuff and my abilities. Like, all my pitches, now I have full command over them, a lot better than I did before surgery. So just the whole process, even though it was really long, it built up a lot of confidence throughout it.
After more than 12 months away from in-game action, there's nothing that can keep Hamilton away from the game he loves, finally making his season debut on March 11th against Fairfield University.
It's a great feeling. I mean, it's the whole reason, it's live to play the game. I love being here, playing the game, getting to compete. And any way I could help the team win is exciting. So I can't wait to get out there, get a lot of innings, get some wins.
For The Locker Room, I'm Anthony Hidalgo. I'm Anthony Hidalgo. The Islanders are back on the ice tonight following their 6-3 loss last Sunday to the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. They'll welcome the Anaheim Ducks, losers of their last 2 games, as part of a 4-game East Coast road trip. Ilya Sorokin will be in goal for the Isles, while Lukáš Dostál is expected to start between the pipes for the Ducks. Pre-game kicks off at 6:30. Then at 7, Chris King and Greg Picker will be on the call for you right here on 88.7 FM, WRHU, and across the Islanders radio network. It's another quiet night across Hofstra Athletics with no games on the schedule today, but the women's soccer team is ramping up for their CAA Championship quarterfinal matchup on Thursday against the University of Delaware. The Pride lost their first meeting with the Blue Hens this season back on September 22nd, 2-1. It'll be the first time the two schools have met in the tournament since the quarterfinals in 2018. Hofstra won that matchup 1-0. Across New York sports, the Knicks fell to the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday, 110-104. Jalen Brunson led the team with 21 points and 7 assists, but it wasn't enough as Darius Garland lit up MSG with 34 points, including a flurry of threes late in the fourth to seal the win. The Yankees lost 4-2 last night in Game 3 of the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Freddie Freeman hit his 3rd home run of the series, only adding to his World Series MVP case. The Yankees fight for their lives with Game 4 tonight as Luis Hill gets the start for the Yanks. First pitch is set for 8:08. For your Newsline Sports Update, I'm Anthony Hidalgo.